Good afternoon, groovy citizens, and happy fantastic Friday. Listen, I don't know about you all, but I am so thankful that today is Friday. That means the weekend is here. That means we can relax the rest of the weekend unless you have to work. Then, if that's the case, my prayers go out to you. Hopefully you will get some rest this weekend, but for the rest of us, we are going to, I know I am, going to sit back and chill. This week has been productive as always, but very, very busy. But you know what? I'm thankful nonetheless. I'm thankful that God allowed me to see this week. I'm just thankful for all the doors that he's opened for me, the doors that he's closed for me. Y'all don't get me started preaching, but I'm just thankful, okay? Got my hair done, and it's nothing like getting your scalp washed and massaged and all of that. And look this, I got a little color added up in here. Y'all see this? Got a little color going on. Just because you in your 50s now don't mean that you have to have, the gray showing. Not that I want to hide it necessarily, but I like a little color from time to time. And we don't use permanent color either, but still, I am loving my color. Now, I don't know where you live, but right now it is 91 degrees, you guys. 91, which is why I have my air conditioning on, because it is hot outside. It is quite hot. I got in the car and I just took my mom to the bank a few minutes ago, and just getting in the car and driving down the street, the sweat started pouring. So I said, oh no, we got to cut the air on. So anyway, hopefully where you are, it's comfortable. And if you're not comfortable, it's not comfortable temperature wise, that you can find some comfort in the heat. Now let's jump into today's topic, because I have a couple of things to do. And then my other half, Mr. Grouchy Pants, will be here by 5:30. So I have 2 hours in which to get everything done that I need to do, because y'all know how men are. When they ready to go, they're ready to go. So I want to make sure I'm ready to go. Okay, let's jump into today's topic. And the topic is, if you want to change. I'm gonna say that one more time, because somebody in the back of the room didn't hear me. If you want to change, y'all. And before I jump into this topic, I wanted to share something with you. I wasn't going to, but I am. Earlier today, I had a coworker of mine. She said to me, she said, Michelle, she said, you have no idea how much I appreciate you. I said, you do? For what? She said, I watched one of your videos. She said, I don't remember where I saw it. Now, no, we're not friends on Facebook, so it had to have been on TikTok. And she said, you talk, and she might have seen it on YouTube, I'm not sure, but she said, you were talking about not giving up. And she said, here lately, I found myself giving up. When the slightest thing doesn't go the way she wants it to go, she finds herself giving up. She said, but I watched your video, and she said, I was so blessed by it. She said, I couldn't stop the tears from falling. And as she was telling me this story, she said, I'm getting choked up now just thinking about all the stuff that you talked about and how you encouraged us to keep pushing forward and not to give up. And I said, it's okay, baby. It's all right. To get yourself together, take your time. It's all right. She said, but you just don't know how blessed I was by hearing your video. She said, I don't think you realize what a blessing you truly are to other people. So for those of you that take the time to thank me, to encourage me to keep doing what I'm doing, I say thank you, because what I do for each and every one of you. This is not about Michelle. Heck, sometimes I got to bless myself. Sometimes I bring tears to my own eyes. Y'all don't get to see it, but after I'm done with the video, because I bless myself so much just encouraging you that I've been encouraged. Y'all know y'all think that I just have it all together all the time, but I don't. I truly don't. And so I get to bless myself, but I think the bigger thing here is that I am so thankful that God has let me find my calling in life and truly be able to walk in it. And knowing that, I told y'all before, if I can just bless one person, that's always my goal. Just one. More is great, but if I can just bless that one person, encourage that one person, then I'm happy. All right, let's jump into today's topic, which is, if you want to change. And this quote that I'm going to share with you is by Bishop T.D. Jakes. Y'all, this is some powerful stuff, so make sure you listen. And of course, as always, it's going to be in the description. He says, when people know better, they do better. I don't know about you all, but I remember hearing that even growing up. When people know better, they do better. He said there's a difference between knowing better and doing better. He says, I know I don't have no business with dessert. Okay, then this is him talking. He says, but I said I was going to watch my carbs. I know I should get up early every morning and exercise about 5:30 a.m. and jog about 3 miles. He says, I know better. I know what to eat and what not to eat. Come on, somebody, because we all do, right? But we eat what we eat anyway. He says, I know what is healthy, what is not healthy. I have been informed. I have been educated. I know not to eat those oxtails. Now, I don't know about you all, but I don't think I've ever had oxtails, and it's all right with me because I'll pass on that. He says, I know not to even risk bringing it that close to me because I know I'm not strong enough to resist it. Let me put a pin right here real quick. When you know that you're not strong enough to resist something, don't bring it around you. If you know you have a temptation for eating oxtails, let me just say that. I don't eat them, but if you do, and you know you shouldn't be eating them because it's not a part of your diet or part of the things that you should be eating, then don't bring them in your house. Because you know you're not strong enough to resist. Now you may say, oh, I'm going to cook it for the grandkids. I'm going to cook it for, Sunday dinner for the family. But you know you're going to eat some because you're not strong enough to say no. Stop bringing those people, places, and things around you that you know you're not strong enough to resist. And that's for everybody, including me. He says, you see, when people know better, they say they will do better. But it is possible. It is not the absence of knowledge, come on now, that always deter the activity, but the gulf between what we know and what we do is often a wide gulf, and we don't always reach across. Yo, that's powerful. That'll shout you right there. The gulf between what we know and what we do is often a wide gulf. So this is what you know, this is what you do. You see how much space is in between here and here? That's how it is in real life. But I digress. Let me keep going. He says, while it is impossible to do better if you don't know better, you can't do better if you don't know better. Often we still know better than we do. The truth of the matter is doing better isn't always easy. Come on now, that definitely will shout you right there. We can pass the collection plate and have the benediction and gone on home. Yeah, I'm sorry, my neighbor's walking down the street with these hideous shorts on. Lord forgive me. I guess I was confused with these shorts that he has on, but if he likes them, I love them. He says, the truth of the matter is doing better isn't always easy. That is so true. It's easier said than done when somebody says that they're pre-diabetic and the doctor says, I want you to stop eating this, this, and this, or cut back on eating this, this, and this. It's easier said than done because sometimes it's hard. If you've been accustomed to eating certain things or doing certain things, it's hard to just stop doing those things. Now, I know there are people that quit cold turkey, whatever that thing is, be it drinking, overeating, smoking, and the list can go on and on. It's not as easy as it sounds. It's easy to say, I'm going to stop eating chitlins. Oh God, that just unnerves me because I don't eat chitlins. They stink to me. But if you like them, I love them. But it's easy to say I'm going to stop eating chitlins because they're not healthy for me. And then to go someplace and they're there, you smell them if you like that smell and you want to eat them because it's easier said than done, especially when those things are right there. That's why I said if you know that you can't resist eating sweets or you need to cut back on eating sweets, stop putting them in your house because you can't eat what you don't have in your house, okay? That's just a little food for thought, and that's free right there. And he says they say they will do better, but is it possible, and I want you to think about this, is it possible it is not the absence of knowledge that always deters the activity, but the gulf between what we know and what we do, like he said, is often a wide gulf. So we say when we know better, we do better, but is it possible that it's not the absence of knowledge that always deters the activity. That's powerful right there. And we don't always reach across. So while it is impossible to do better if you don't know better, you can do better if you can do better if you don't know better. Often we still know better than we do. The truth of the matter. Okay, wait a minute, hold up. I've already read that. I was going to say that sounds so familiar. Okay, sometimes it's real tough. So I do apologize, you guys, because I realized I had already read that. But when he talked about the truth of the matter is that it's not always that easy, because it really isn't. Sometimes it's real tough. He says we know what we should be doing, but we don't always do it. I just talked about that. You know what you need to do. I know what I need to do, but we don't always do it. Sometimes we don't always do better until we get into trouble. So until that doctor tells you that your blood sugar levels are extremely high, or your blood pressure is extremely high, you're not going to change up your diet and start exercising. You know you need to do it, but until that doctor tells you, look, you need to do it because this is detrimental to your health if you don't. Or whatever the thing is, we don't always do better until we get into trouble. Sometimes we don't do better until we're under threat. Sometimes we don't do better until we have competition. He says people that we admire the most were people who put in action what they know. Who grew and changed and made corrections. They became our heroes because they had the courage to change course. So when I say that, I'm gonna tell you what I thought about. We all know somebody that we grew up with who, and you may not necessarily know them personally, but you know someone who has told their story of how they grew up and they were addicted to whatever they were addicted to. But to see them now, you would never know that they suffered from that addiction for years. Maybe they were homeless. Maybe they were looking a raggedy mess. But you see them now, and they're dressed to the nines. Every time you see them, they have a multi-million-dollar business or a $500,000 business, and they're doing awesome. One would never know the person they used to be. Why? Because they decided to make the change. Remember what my topic is. If you want to change, then you are going to do what you have to do in order to change. If you want to change your weight, i.e. you want to drop some weight, you're going to cut out all the unnecessary carbs. You're going to cut out all the eating out. You're going to cut out the fast food restaurants. You're going to start working out. And there are other lists of things that you can do. But that's only if you really want to change. And what I found out is that you can talk to people till they're blue in the face, but if they don't truly want to do it for them, they're not going to do it. You can talk to them and say, look, what you're doing is hurting me. And if you say you care about me, then I need you to fix that. Sometimes people will change when you say that, but other times they won't, because they have to want to. And I love it when he talks about those people have become our heroes because they had the courage to change course. He says Dr. King had to have courage to change the course. Nelson Mandela went to jail to change the course. You can get in trouble to change the course. Getting it right can have severe consequences. Some people lack the ability to quiet their ego enough to achieve the ability of change, because sometimes you have to go against what you said at this stage. Sometimes your ego will make you be loyal to a mistake. Come on, somebody. That's another shouting moment. You ever have a time when your ego was up here and it made you remain loyal to a mistake that you made, and you knew daggone well you shouldn't keep doing it, but your ego said, guess what? You're big enough, you're bad enough, you can do it anyway. Come on now. I know I'm not the only one. He says when you look at what it's going to take to change, sometimes you just don't do it. And when you do it, you become trapped in a nightmare of regret. I'm sorry, when you don't do it. So, in other words, what he's saying is that you know that in order to get your weight down, you're going to have to do A, B, C, X, Y, Z. But you don't do it because after you think about it, you're like, oh God, this is going to take so much work. I don't feel like putting in the work. I want the results, but I don't feel like putting in the work. And then when you don't do what you know you need to do, now you're trapped in a nightmare of regret. Because you'll sit back and you start to think, dang, if only I had done this, if only I had done that, if only I had done the other, I wouldn't be in the situation that I'm in right now. So what I want you all to do is decide today that you're going to make the change, whatever that change is, and just do it. I know it's not going to be easy. That's why I've always encouraged you all, keep a journal, get you a support group. And if you don't know of a support group, form your own, because somebody out there is going through whatever it is that you're dealing with. And that way you can start making the necessary changes and you don't have to live a life with regret. I'm pretty sure you have some people out here right now who are severe diabetics, and because they didn't change their diets, they're now an amputee. And they're sitting back thinking, dang, you know what? If I had just stopped eating those cinnamon rolls or those, my hand is raised, those Rice Krispie treats that I've been craving lately, I wouldn't be in this situation. And what we don't want to do is live life with regrets. I don't regret anything I've ever done in life. You know why? Because it taught me a lesson, and I'm thankful for that lesson. So I don't regret anything. If I said something, if I did something, I apologize for it, but I don't regret it because it's made me into the person that I am today. And so he says, you would be surprised at how long you can live in the prison of your problems. Come on, somebody. That's another shouting moment. Some of you all have been living in a prison of your problems for a long time now. And that's why I say, if you want to change, you can, but you've got to make up your mind that you're going to do it. You've got to make up your mind that you're going to hang in there and see it through, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how many hurdles you have to jump, you are going to do it. He says, I don't care how much you praise the Lord, but until you go back and correct your past decisions, you are not going to get the breakthrough that you need. Again, that's another that'll shout you happy right there. If I wasn't sitting in this car, I could get my shout on, because that is so powerful and it is so true. I'm gonna read that again. He says, I don't care how much you praise the Lord, but until you go back and correct your past decisions, you are not going to get the breakthrough that you need. Now, no, we cannot go back in time and change whatever that decision is. But guess what? At the same time, you don't have to keep living in that mistake that you made 5 years ago. You don't even have to keep living that same mistake, over and over again that you created last year. You can move past that. But that's only if you want to change. That'll shout you. He says, you know what it takes to fix it, and you know the discipline that's required to get your life together. But it's not always true that people who know better do better. Not doing better simply leaves you stuck. Y'all, that's powerful. And again, this is a quote by Bishop T.D. Jakes. It'll be in the description box. So real quickly, I want to talk about some ways that you can change your life. I have 12 points, and I'm gonna leave you be. Number 1, find meaning. Figure out what is important enough to make a change or make changes in your life. Only you can figure that out. I can't figure that out for you, and neither can your neighbor or your family member. Only you know what it is that you need to make a change for. Number 2, create a vision board or vision book. So it's a great place to start dreaming again. So when you talk about you wanting to make a change, if you have a vision board or vision book, you can put pictures in it, and you can write quotes and scriptures and whatever else of things that you want to accomplish. That'll give you something to work towards. Number 3, set realistic goals. And I wanted to make sure I stress the word realistic, because oftentimes we set goals and they're not realistic. And then you wonder why you can't achieve that goal, because you set a goal that's way up here when you should have brought it down here just a little bit. Now, that's not thinking small. That is not thinking small. That's just setting a goal that's realistic. And then once you get to this goal, then you can come up here and set the next goal, and then the next and the next and the next, and so forth and so on. Stop trying to jump from A to Z without working the rest of the alphabet, because when you do that, you set yourself up to lose. Number 4, let go of regrets. I can't stress this enough. They only hold you back, and they keep you living in the past. You've got to stop holding on to regrets. Oh, I'm so sorry I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do the other. Okay, you didn't. We've established that. Move on. You learned from that, whatever that thing was, move on, but you cannot keep living with regrets. Number 5, step out of your comfort zone. I've talked about this before. Doing only what makes you comfortable keeps you stuck. A lot of you all are stuck because you refuse to step out of your comfort zone. And until you do that, you will remain stuck. Period. End of sentence. Number 6, live a well-balanced life. I should want me some water. Our physical, emotional, and spiritual state changes as we get older. So we really need to watch what we feed our minds and our bodies. It's important that you live a well-balanced life. And another problem that many of you all can't change is because your life is not balanced. Some is here, you kind of here, and sometimes you're here, but very rarely are you here on the same even playing field. Number 7, face your fears. It's easy to ignore our fears and hope they will go away. However, it doesn't work out that way all the time. Yeah, sometimes you can ignore people, like you can ignore people and eventually they will go away. Maybe not as soon as you want them to, but eventually they will. But some things in your life that you need to address, ignoring them will not make it go away. If you know you have a weight problem, ignoring it is not going to make it go away. If you know that you need to take care of your overall health, ignoring those warning signs, it doesn't make it go away. It's only going to get worse. So please make sure you're doing that. Number 8, accept yourself. I cannot encourage this enough. The only person who is going to change your life is you. The only person that's going to change my life is me. So accept who you are and love yourself. What do I mean by that? What I mean is you've got to accept who you are, number 1, but also at where you are right now as you work towards where you want to be. And I think, I want to say Adele. I think her Adele Givens, I know she's a comedian. I think her name is Adele. She talked about that. One day I was listening to her comedy routine and she said, you've got to learn to love yourself as you are right now while you work towards becoming the person that you want to be. Some of y'all don't love yourselves. Heck, some of y'all don't even like yourselves. And then you wonder why it's hard to get where you want to be, because you got to love the you that you are. That's why I talk about thanking God right for what you have right now as you thank him in advance for what you're striving for. Because God is going to say, well, wait a minute. If they're not grateful for what they have, why should I give them more? Come on now. I'm grateful for what I had, what I have, and what God is going to provide. Be thankful in the moment. Number 10, tell that negative voice to shut up. I know it's not polite to tell anybody to shut up, but when that negative voice starts to churn in your head, I need you to just get quiet and say, look, shut up. We're not doing that today. The devil is a lie. But if you allow that negative voice to keep on talking in your ear, all it's doing is taking all the positive things and pushing them out the other ear. And now that negative voice is taking over. That negative voice says, look at you. You look at all this stuff you have to do. You're never going to get all that done. That's when you say, shut up and start getting things done a little at a time. Number 11, be grateful for the good things in your life. Focus on the positive only. I get it. We all have some negative things going on in our lives, but I need you to give your time and attention to the positive things only. I'm not saying to ignore the negative because you know it's there, but focus primarily on the positive. Because I promise you, if you do that, you will get to where you need to be a whole lot faster. Because what you give your energy to, that's where your energy goes. That's where I just said that quote yesterday, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Be careful where you're putting your energy. And number 12, find your zen. It's time to find your happy place. Some of you don't know where your happy place is. I know where mine is. I know where my happy place is. I need you to find yours. It could be sitting in a park bench. It could be sitting in a lawn chair in your backyard. It could be sitting on your porch. It could be sitting up in your attic. Heck, it could be sitting in your car having a car conversation. Doesn't matter where it is, but you've got to find your zen, which is your happy place. Where's that place that you are the most happiest? And you don't need to have people around, because your zen is not necessarily around other people. That's when you are in tune with yourself. When you are happy with yourself. Leave other people out of the picture. Find your happy place where it's just you. And again, it's going to look different. For some of you, your happy place is in the bathroom. Don't judge me, because I don't judge anybody else. At times, that is my happy place. But I digress. What I'm saying is, Find that place where you are the happiest. So today's topic, we talked about if you want to change. And the key takeaway here is this. You can change if you want to. It's as simple as that. If you want to change, you can. But that means you are going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to love yourself. You're going to have to love yourself where you are right now as you work towards where you want to be. That's just like when you go to God in prayer, you have to say, Lord, I thank you for what I have right now. I thank you for my health right now, but I'm thanking you in advance for where I'm going. I'm thanking you in advance for where my health is going to be once I continue to do the things that I know I need to do to live a healthier life. So if you want to change, you can, but you've got to put in the work. And I always tell you guys, if you don't believe in you, who else is going to believe in you? I mean, really. That's why if somebody comes to me and they can have the craziest idea in the world, and I'm going to say, you know what, that's wonderful. Well, how do you plan on achieving that? And you're going to tell me how you're going to plan to achieve it. And I may add some things in there, and I may say, well, you know, that sounds great, but what if you did this instead of that, or that instead of the other? And people have said to me, and I've shared this with you all before, they've said, Michelle, why do you encourage people to do crazy stuff? Well, you know what? It sounds crazy to you because you don't understand their vision. God didn't give that vision to you. He gave it to that person. So I like to encourage people to go after their goals, to go after their dreams. Because while it may sound weird to me, they believe in it wholeheartedly. And guess what? I will never, ever, ever be accused of telling anybody, don't go after that dream because it won't work. That sounds stupid. Why would you want to do that? No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to encourage you to go after it because guess what? It just may work out. Who am I to tell somebody that it isn't? That's not my place to do that, and it certainly is not yours. But if you want to change, you're going to have to put in the work. You're going to have to believe in yourself, and you're going to have to keep going no matter what. You cannot give up. You've got to keep going. There are going to be roadblocks along the way, but you've got to learn how to jump over them or walk around them. But you cannot allow them to keep you from doing what you have been called to do. Because everybody has a calling on their lives. You got to figure out what your calling is, and by any means necessary, you've got to make it happen. As long as it's not illegal and it's going to land you in jail. Otherwise, you need to do what you need to do to make it happen. So you guys, that's today's topic, if you want to change. If you're new to watching my video, first of all, I want to say thank you all for joining me, giving me just a little bit of your time. And if you're new to watching my videos, I want to say welcome. I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you for making sure you hit that subscribe button. And the rest of y'all, you haven't hit that subscribe button already, what are you waiting on? Hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss any videos when I put them out, okay? Thank you. Love you. But if you're new to watching my videos, I do a car conversation every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So come on back tomorrow. I'll have another motivational topic for you. If this is not your first rodeo, I want to say welcome back. Y'all know I miss you and I don't get a chance to see you. Go out there and enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. But enjoy the rest of your evening. If you're going out with friends, y'all know, I say it all the time. Please be careful. Please be safe. And as always, if you didn't come with somebody, don't you leave with anybody. If you came to that event alone, you better leave alone. We live in a crazy world. We really do. And I hate to have to say that, but we do. You always have to watch over your shoulder. And God forbid, if you need to get money out the bank, y'all stop waiting until nighttime to be going to ATMs. I can't stand to see people do that. Go now while it's still daytime. But do not wait till it gets dark to be going to nobody's daggone ATM. People get robbed all the daggone time. And that's why I say be careful where you're going, because people are carjacking and all that other good stuff. So please, please, please promise me that you're going to be careful if you have to go out. And even if you're staying in, make sure you lock your doors. Okay? Lock your doors. Listen, I love you all to the moon and back. You know the drill, you know the spiel. There's nothing that you can do about it. I mean, absolutely nothing, because that will never change. I love you all. And when I say that, I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I truly love each and every one of you. I want nothing but the best for you. And I want to keep encouraging you, because that's what God has put that calling on my life to do that. So I'm here to encourage you, to motivate you, to speak life into you, and to let you know that if nobody else believes in you, I believe in you. And I don't even know what your goal or your dream is, but I believe in you wholeheartedly. And I know you can do it. You can do it because you can change if you want to. I've given you the tools that you need to change. So now you have to do your part. What did what did Bishop T.D. Jakes say? He started off by saying, when we know better, we do better. That's all I'm saying. I've given you the tools. Go out there and make it happen. Love you all, and we'll talk again tomorrow. Until then, take care.